Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
Treat your cough seriously with Robitussin CF Max. Nothing lasts longer and treats more symptoms for your cough, cold, and flu. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It will be the result of your subconscious fears transformed to your conscious awareness. Warning, this tape must not be played by government personnel. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat.
Lexi, tell us something interesting.
Okay, the Earth is flat, and a witch stole his pants.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
Oh, hold on. I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you think?
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
Und jetzt der Verkehr. Vorsicht, liebe Autofahrer, auf der A3 Oberhausen Richtung Arnheim ist die linke Spur aufgrund eines UFO-Absturzes gesperrt. Bitte bilden Sie eine Rettungsgasse.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery is still an impartial observer in Ukraine. Early objective reports are that things are not going that well. But for who? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, this show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Caroline, if it is not, look at date here. March 22nd, 2022. Then you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day goes exactly like this one thing. We will not allow NATO to arm or train Ukrainians in Ukraine. Anyone providing such assistance is considered a combatant and will be treated accordingly. Who said that? I bet you can guess. My co-host, she's lovely, she's sassy, and she's one of the biggest flat earth rock stars ever. Karen V. What's going on, Karen?
Hey, Mark.
What's up? Got your Karen B custom gray hat. Very nice.
Yeah, I like my hat.
I don't have a lot of Mark Sargent memorabilia. I really should, considering everyone accuses me of the whole I am Mark Sargent egomaniac thing all the time. I see that in comments by trolls all the time. And it's like, yeah, I know you didn't watch or don't remember Fight Club from 20 years ago, but whatever. Hey, Karen, if you had to recommend one app for people to get before the end of the world, what would it be?
It would be the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, Zodiac, and Clock app.
Yes, indeed. It's the perfect gift for friends, family, and complete strangers. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Don't forget, you can also find this program on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin and Rumble, and social media things that haven't even been invented yet. I'm pretty sure we're on Starlink right now. That's not a platform. I'm just saying. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It's just the beginning. Shout-outs to, of course, Flat Earther Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones. Also on the soundtrack of The Matrix from 1999. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to thestrong.family. Also, go to truthsmacks.com. Spreading truth one delicious morsel at a time. And if you're not watching the video version, that's me shaking a bag of Truth Smacks Trail Mix Supreme infused with peppermint. But there's other flavors and other sizes. Get them for your meetup, won't you? Just get them. You will be smarter. You know what? You know what this does, Karen? This stops COVID brain shrinkage. Yeah,
yes.
That's what this does. So
I
COVID
bet.
apparently shrinks your brain. This will stop it.
Yep.
Because the truth will always make your brain better. Wow. Freudian slip there. Okay, let's do some meetups. First off, from Cobit, there are 5 meetups happening this weekend around Florida. They are Titusville, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Okeechobee, and Sarasota. The schedules can be all found at flatearthfestivals.com.
That's correct.
Also, there's going to be an added bonus, Salem, New Hampshire meetup this Sunday, the 27th, starting at 2 o'clock at the Rockingham Park Mall in the food court. We do quite a few things in food courts. 99 Rockingham Park Boulevard, Salem, New Hampshire. Look for the blue dot on the table. Come early, stay late. To RSVP, contact Kobe at 603-339-9830. And last but not least, meetup in Connecticut at April 3rd from 6:30 until 9 at the Black Dog Bar and Grill, 146 Park Road. That's in Putnam, Connecticut. RSVP by contacting Jesse at 857-344-6209, or if you're afraid of the telephone, email him at 300kmileprius@gmail.com. That's 300kmileprius@gmail.com. He will have a Nikon P1000 if you've never seen one of those. Very, very cool if you haven't seen them. Okay, I think that's it. That's all I got. Good night, everybody.
Oh, well, there's also the New York meetup. Remember that?
Oh. You know what? You're absolutely. You know what?
You're going to get yelled at.
I am going to get yelled at because I forgot that last week, too. Hang on. Let me go to my channel and let me go to videos, and because it is out there. So the Flat Earth Meetup, New York City, April 2nd at the Broadway Mall in Hicksville, New York. You can check out that the video.
On the Border.
Yep, that video is on my channel. You can check that out. And I'm pretty sure the South Africa meetup is done.
Yes, that one's done.
I can get
that
rid
one
of that.
That one's done. Yeah.
That's one's complete. Okay. Anyone else? Anything? Did I miss any of them? I'm good, right?
No, that's pretty good. Oh, but Brian is going to have a meetup in Myrtle Beach April 30th too, and the details for that are also at flatearthfestivals.com. So April 30th, Myrtle Beach with Brian and Christian Knapp and everybody. There you go.
Nice. All right. To the headlines we will go. Let's do a recap real quick of last week's theme, which was supply and demand, which is why I picked the first one. It's like, oh, we don't have to talk about nickels again. Yes, we do have to talk about nickels again because it's very, very interesting to me. Here's why. So the initial headline is from Markets Insider. The London Metal Exchange is weighing a ban on Russian metals and is in talks with governments about it. And you're going, wow, Mark, that's a coincidence because you were talking about nickel last week. It's like, no, it's not a coincidence. Here's what happened since last week. They kept, remember, the nickel market, there's so many billionaires that are trying to get involved in manipulating the commodity that they just shut it down. The nickel market is shut down for a while until they try to sort things out. And since the last show, every day they've tried to open it, the circuit breakers have kicked in because the volatility index has gone off the freaking charts. So it drops like 15%, circuit breakers like no more trades today. That's it. We're done. And another day. And so it's like this weird car jerking motion, sudden starts and stops. And so they don't know what to do. They do not know how to stabilize this market, nickel. And it's not going to just stop with nickel. There will be other markets that will be like this. And so their option, their idea is, well, why don't we just pull Russia out of the nickel market? So we're not going to trade in Russian nickel anymore. Now, you're thinking, wow, that seems like a really clever solution. Well, it isn't because if you read this article, and I highly recommend that you guys do, that's not the only thing that Russia deals with. Russia also deals with palladium and platinum and some other stuff. So they are for example, palladium, the world's biggest exporter of palladium and the second largest of platinum. And the third largest nickel producer. So if this is a precedent, if you start doing this, then you're potentially doing this with what are you going to do at Ukraine next? And then what? Anyone that gets drawn into the conflict, you're going to cut them out of markets. So basically what they're saying is they're not going to trade with that anymore to try to create more stability in the markets, which is I've never even seen anything like this. So interesting. Read it on your own time. Next one down. Which is, this is trying to make them look bad. We'll spend about 30 seconds on this one. This is from the Daily Mail. Sources say bloated Putin has roid rage from steroid treatment. So remember last week he had Parkinson's, and now it's a combination of Parkinson's and including roid rage from steroid treatment for cancer. So does he have Parkinson's? Does he have cancer? They don't know. They're just
wait a minute. They're saying Parkinson's disease or roid rage. So yeah. Are they saying they're the same thing, or are they just saying they don't know if it's one or the other?
It's one or the other. It's obviously he's a sick man. What? It's like you can't jump from Parkinson's to basically they're jumping from Parkinson's to cancer. I'm not going to say what kind of cancer it is, but they're treating it with steroids. Where are you guys? You're just throwing it out there. Anything you can to make him look like he's dying. It's like, look, even if both those things were true, he's still 10 times more capable than Biden at the moment. So I don't know what you're trying to do there. If you're trying to bring him down to Biden's level, it's not going to happen anytime soon. It's just not. Okay, and then the theme of this show, which is called Sending a Message. Let's get right to that. So we can get to RT nowadays, although the hyperlinks are broken, so I can't right-click on them. I actually have to paste them in, which sucks, but that's fine. So Russia Today. Russia sends a message to foreign mercenaries in Ukraine, and which is what I read earlier in the show, which is all locations of foreign mercenaries in Ukraine are known to us, says Russian military. I want to warn you again, there will be no mercenary for the mercenaries. No matter where they are on the territory of Ukraine. Remember, they don't even mention who. They're just saying if you're in Ukraine, you're fair game if you're working for the Ukrainians. And let's go down to the next one. Why do I mention this? Let's go down to the next one, which is from RT. Things you're not going to see in our media. Russia says it struck another mercenary base in Ukraine and wiped out some Ukrainian special ops and foreign soldiers of fortune. Now, they're being kind there. So I enjoy these stories like this because Russia knows what they can get away with. This is when the media works to their advantage. You see, they're saying, oh, yeah. If you're sending weapons over here and you're training Ukrainians on that, we're just going to shoot cruise missiles to it. And if you're anywhere near it, we don't care. And that's what's been happening. But the problem with that is that from the American side is they can't report on it. So you're not going to see a story saying, oh, yeah, by the way, 80 American advisors died on the western edge of Ukraine, because they're not supposed to be there, right? they're advisors. Officially, they're not there. So you can't even report. They're stuck. They can't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Russia is they're just firing missiles. Oh, it's like and by the way, it's not that hard to do. Once you know, if you even have a tip of where these weapons are located, all you do is look for cell phone chatter. That's all you do. You don't even have to listen to the chatter. You just see, okay, how many cell phones are pinging in that area? It's like, oh, some are going to, and it's not just, by the way, it's not just us, it's the British as well. Which is, again, the theme and the thumbnail involved here. It's like, look, this is a paradox that we're running into, and I don't know how the media is trying to resolve it, which is, you have told us, the media, through movies and television and stories, you have told us for decades and decades and decades, do not get into a fight with the Russians. That's the rule. You don't do it. You can fight anybody else you want. But Russians, they know this stuff. That's why the thumbnail is bread and water and war. They do this. You send them to a place, if you make them go old school, it would be a never-ending, horrible, horrible thing. Do not forget, historians out there, that the Americans during World War II, we lost 400,000 troops, 400,000 people, basically, because they didn't hit us, the civilians. You know how many the Russians lost? 22 million. For every one of ours, they lost 50. So and they didn't quit. So don't underestimate these guys. Just don't. All right. Anyway, moving on. Next one down is. Let's go to the propaganda on our side. So we'll leave Russia today. Let's do this. Ready? All right. Tell me if anyone out there listening is getting a chuckle. Russian troops are getting frostbite in Ukraine because they don't have the right cold weather gear, says the United States. Okay, if you know anything about Russia at all, they don't have warm weather gear.
I was going to say.
They have two types of clothing. They have cold weather gear and really cold weather gear. Right? They don't wear shorts. Even over here, 90 degrees, they're wearing tracksuits and hoodies.
Yeah.
They are a cold weather people. It's like oh yeah, they're getting frostbite. Are you kidding?
How do you even think that you can say that and get away with it? Why would they?
Yeah.
If they don't have cold weather gear, they're not real Russians.
Yeah, exactly. They throw, like Sparta, they throw their kids into the snow. It's like, all right, we're going to toughen you up. And for like a week, it's like, stay out there in the snow. Okay. Yeah, but whatever. Absolute propaganda. Thank you for just going to the outrageous. Yeah, Russians don't know how to do snow. Thank you for that. Next one, speaking of propaganda, I've got to mention it. Alex Stein got on RT. That's either really good or really bad, because I don't know if Americans, because why is he on RT? It's like, well, because he's going anti-Ukraine, pro-Russia during this little speech where he's dressed in camo, and he tells the council at this Texas council meeting that he's from the Ukraine Legionnaires, this group, and he's recruiting people. He's recruiting council members, and he plays dramatic music in the background, and he's yelling at them to sign up and join the Ukraine Legion and go over there and fight. Now, it's completely sarcastic and it's completely nuts, but drives the point home, which is mercenary. We're recruiting people to go over there, and like I read in the headline, the Russians are saying, you send anyone over here. You're not even gonna see us. You're just gonna hear something in the air, and then that'll be it. So, thank you, Alex, for taking it up a notch. Wow. Again, I don't think mainstream's going to be talking to him because of this. He may have excluded him. But no, it's great that you got an RT. I hope he gets interviewed in Russia. Hey, he'll take it too. I guarantee he will. Next one is, what are we looking at? The CNN article. So, Karen, you probably knew this, which is, but again, it's very clever. Why you should always travel with compression socks, according to experts. Now, I've done a lot of business travel, and it was never really an urgency. that you wanted to wear tight-fitting compression socks. Not you. We've heard this every once in a while. It's, older people should wear, or people with blood issues. If you scroll down, here's the number one reason. What is it? Oh, what does that say? Compression socks help deter potential blood clots. Wow. Wow, that's really something. Okay, why would they run this story? Remember, look between the lines. Why would you run this story? Well, it's not that they don't want you to get clots. They don't want you to get clots on airplanes, because that's kind of a high profile thing. Because if you get a blood clot on an airplane, everyone breaks out their phones. It's like, oh, look at this guy. He's unconscious on the ground, right? And you land, there's ambulances, and then people start posting all their social media. It's like, dude, somebody total clotted out next to me. Wonder what happened. Maybe he forgot his socks. See, this way they can sort of deter people from doing that. Very clever. Very, very nice. So now, again, you should be wearing, if you took, if you got a jab, you probably should be wearing compression socks all the time moving forward, along with a whole bunch of blood thinner. So very, very clever. Another next one down, also clever. And I didn't put the Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton did the same thing. Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, cancels her latest appearance due to lingering COVID symptoms. See, she's one of us, Karen. She's one of the people. Disregard the ridiculously expensive purple outfit she's wearing and jewelry that costs more than your car. She's one of us. She gets lingering COVID. She gets long COVID, just like everybody else. Yep. Just wanted to point that out. That's why she's in People magazine. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Next one down. Lucky or unlucky? 3 interesting ones. First one is ESPN guy John Clayton, 67. He died. And they do not say what he died of. And that's very common nowadays, which is high profiles. Like, we're just not going to say what he died of. He was 67 years old. Nope, nothing. Got nothing. So,
wow.
Moving on. Next one down. This person, was this the Louisville Health Department leader?
Yep.
Okay, a couple things there. First, and credit to DITRH for noticing this, because I didn't initially, because it threw me because it was white. She's a health department. The what?
Flat Earth map.
Yeah, the map's behind her.
Yeah.
Like, okay, she's the health department. Yeah, health department leader. What's she doing there with the globe maps behind her? It's like, okay. Second, she was the health department leader. And what was her thing? She was the chief health strategist. She was 36. And yeah, that was her big thing. And she saved, officially she's an anesthesiologist. And she also helped save a man who was on an airplane who had a medical emergency. Don't know what it was. Probably a guy that wasn't wearing his compression socks. Probably what it was. So anyway.
So she handed out the COVID vaccine, was probably multiple vaccinated herself.
Oh, absolutely. Tripled. Absolutely. So, yeah. Next person down, Lucky. Let's end on a happy note with that one. Ready? So the next guy, Cyclist, 31. Found this one on, look, it's on RT, which probably, anything that's RT, you're probably not going to see on our media. 31, he's crossing the finish line, has a heart attack. Cyclists are one of those groups, the epitome of shape. They are rails, right? They are cardiovascular mountains, right? And this guy makes it to the finish line, heart attack. But he's better now. It's
wow.
Like, okay. Sorry. I think was he Italian? Yeah, he's Italian. Yeah, there's a
probably
picture.
Yeah, they love to ride their bikes over there in Italy.
Yes, they do. Yes,
Velo.
Next one down. Okay, this one's a twofer. You're gonna like this one. Ready? Because you weren't on when I got this one first. Okay, so Jen Psaki, don't say anything, Karen. Jen Psaki tests positive for COVID. Grateful that she's vaccinated, right? And the article, it's like, just like she tested positive Sunday after testing negative each day, blah, 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 since Wednesday. Why is this interesting? Well, look at the date on that. It's October 31st, 2021.
Yeah, that's old.
Yeah, that is old. Click the one below it. Ready? Look at the date on this one. That's today. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki tests positive for COVID. I will miss Biden trip to Europe. And then down below, she said she's grateful that she got the shots. So this is a twofer. One, she's reinforcing the fact that because she's grateful that her symptoms are mild. Yep. And again, because she did this twice, I credit to Peanut here for catching this. Now, subliminally, it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, you can get it more than once, even though you're triple vaxxed and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Jen, for doing that. Really, really good. I am curious why that's leading into a whole other conspiracy thing. It's like why she isn't going with Biden to Poland. It's like, why would you miss this trip? This would kind of be a big deal for you. This is probably the only time you're going to go to Poland with him. But we'll see. I'm hoping nothing happens in Poland.
Why do they have that old thing in the article?
They don't.
That's what I see.
I was showing you two different articles.
Oh.
That's why. The first article was from last year, and then they're basically identical articles, but they're 6 months apart.
Oh, I see.
See what I mean? So she tests positive, and then she tests positive again. She tests positive back in October, and then she tests positive today. But it was significant today because she's like, yeah, can't go to. Sounds like a high school excuse, doesn't it? I can't go to Poland. got the COVID.
Yeah, right.
It's like, wait, really? You don't want to go to Poland? Why not? All right. This one is the sellout of the week, month, and year. Arnold comes out with a message to the people of Russia. Fantastic thumbnail. Basically, he goes into his history about how he really loves the Russians, and then he says he twists it right in the middle of it and says, "Really bad what they're doing. I'm totally with the people of Ukraine." Blah blah blah, and there's people giving him crap. But at the same time, look, if you know anything about Arnold's life, he is absolutely going to do whatever the phone call tells him to do. The United States has been extremely generous to him. They've given him multiple careers. I mean, from bodybuilding to movies to marrying a Kennedy. Mm-hmm. So when somebody calls him and says, "Yeah, we need you to make a promo piece, totally pro-Ukraine," it's like, I'm on it. Get to the chopper.
He's such a douche.
Yep.
Same guy who said, "Screw your freedom."
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Karen. Screw your freedoms. Yeah, the same guy. Yeah. He does whatever is being told him. I mean, come on. This guy, a native of Austria makes a governor of California, and they were considering during the height of his popularity of actually changing the rules to allow a non-American to become president. That's how close he was. And then his ratings started tanking because California was just nosediving into the ground. Okay, let's see if we can do a couple more before the break. Oh, yeah. Speaking of sellouts, let's go straight to the puppet category, which is, this shouldn't really surprise anybody, from Business Standard, European politicians nominate Ukraine Zelensky for Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah.
What?
Now you're thinking to yourself, in clown world, well, didn't Obama get it? Yeah, but Zelensky was handing out guns to civilians in the first 48 hours of the war. And he's getting the Peace Prize. He's handing guns to people on the street. No background checks. Just, are you a guy? Yeah, here's a rifle. Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know if he's going to win it, but given the standing ovations he's gotten in the U.S. and England and Israel, he might. I mean, Obama got it.
That is so retarded.
I know. All right. When we come back, we'll finish up the headlines. We don't have too many, but we have a few. And yeah, clown world. Absolute freaking clown world. And then after that, we'll take phone calls. 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. There you go. And the music should be
any day now.
Yeah. Go. Back in 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. There's more madness to come. I could get a Peace Prize with that one.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World Part 2 of 4. It's you, me, and the lovely, never to be my girlfriend, Karen B. We're taking phone calls. We're doing articles. And yeah, you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album. Notice how I'm dragging it out while she puts it in her headphones.
Night and day.
Dude. All right. We've got some stuff to go through. So let's get to it. First one. Gotta love capitalism. First one is Burger King. This is from CNN Business. Burger King franchise, the whole thing, refuses to close 800 Russian restaurants. They've only got 800 in the country. That's a lot, actually, considering Burger King first got in there in 2010. So in 12 years,
it's a lot.
800 restaurants in 12 years. That's doing pretty well. They're saying, yeah, so we can't close them because a business partner controlling 800 restaurants has refused to close them. That's a great out. Perfect passing the buck capitalism. It's like, hey, we'd love to close those 800 stores. Yeah, our partner, they don't really want to do it. They're Russian. What are you going to do? Right? And so that's great. That's the opener, right? Follow that with the video right afterwards. It's a YouTube link. But pull it up on screen if you get a chance, which is McDonald's response on the very same day, right? Russians in McDonald's, or Russians over there noticing, because remember, McDonald's suspended operations. Remember, everyone walked and went home and they left. Yeah, we're going to close for at least 90 days. And then that was revised almost immediately to, well, it'll be 45 days. And then this guy comes out and he says, yeah, you know how long they were closed? 4 days. And he literally takes the camera and he walks into the food court and he buys something from McDonald's right then and there. So all those American media, they're not going to touch it. And you think American media was like, do a follow-up on this. So the American... what was they had at least 600 McDonald's at least, or 550 McDonald's, something like that. They told the American media they were closing, which was true. They weren't lying, but then they reopened 4 days later. And I don't think we're going to see that on mainstream. We're going to see it on this YouTube. So thank you, Mr. Baklikov, for going in and buying a freaking meal. Just to prove the point. I mean, he walks in, does not miss a beat. And he even shows you the receipt with a date stamp on it. Here. That's capitalism. Money is the root of all evil. Love it. Okay, next one down. Interesting story. I'm going to word this delicately so I can put this on YouTube. This is from Forbes magazine. Risk of brain blood clots significantly higher if you have the shots. No, wait.
No, says
sorry.
after infection,
right.
Pfizer shots, then Pfizer or Moderna shots.
So if you have the shots, you are 40 times less likely to get blood clots.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a second.
The shots can stop blood clots now. That's, you read, it's like, oh no, and they're saying no, if you have the COVID, you can read this, but it says, let's see here, the percentage was, I don't want to dig into this too much, but you know what I'm saying. They're
28 to 32 times higher in people with COVID than people vaccinated with Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 shots.
Yeah. So again, pushing the narrative, because there's a lot of, we've been running quite a few blood clot stories over the last X number of months, and they're all but saying it's like, oh we got a shot for that. Really? Is that what it does? Whatever. Okay, moving on. You guys know the drill on this one. Let's go. Thank Peanut for the next one down, which is ready. This is from Times Now. Prolonged TV watching can give us potentially what?
Fatal clots?
Yes. Guy at Harvard says this. So if you're watching TV on your couch, yep, that blood clot monster, it'll come get you. Yeah. Watching TV for an extended period of time. So binge watching TV for even a few hours can render one vulnerable to developing blood clots that can lead to fatal strokes. Whew. Well, it's a good thing a lot of people don't binge watch television. Especially over the last 2 years, which is all anyone's been doing. People have been wearing out the Netflix remote and the Roku, wearing out the Roku buttons. Whatever. All right. Next one down. Next one down is local, which is half of ferry riders are failing to follow the mask mandate. That's from Cairo TV in Seattle. Why do I mention that? Well, one, because I want to look at a nice picture of the ferries we have here. But the other thing is that this is why you don't give people a lot of lead-in time, because they will start bending or breaking the rules because they know it's going to end. So when you tell people, because the boat is a federal, it's public transportation. So public transportation, you can't take off your mask until April 18th. Buses and trains and boats like this. And what's happening is people are just getting on and taking them off anyway, because that's everybody else is taking them off. Like my island, everything on here.
Well, it was supposed to be taken. They were supposed to remove the mandate this month. It's already supposed to be gone. So why did they even bother extending it? That's stupid.
You're absolutely right. And that's why. It's because people are walking around the rest of their lives. They don't have to wear it, but when they get on this boat, they have to. Yeah. Which is why the planes, the thing isn't the boat. Unfortunately, the boats and the planes are in the same cage, and so they're interlinked. And so, because that's the last holdout, which is the airplanes, with the exception of hospitals.
What about trains? Are trains doing that too still?
Same thing. Yeah. Trains, planes, and boats and buses. Public transportation. That they are supposedly going to knock that off April 18th, and people will be so grateful at that point because no one's out. They're not doing it anywhere else but these places. So they're going the whole lives, but they get on the bus, and so now people are getting irritated. It's like, really? It's like, dude, I've been walking around the whole city. Which let's follow up with. Let's transition over. So we'll leave that one, and we'll go down to my favorite headline of the week. We're going a little back and forth here because the war, remember, the war isn't quite 1 month old yet, which seems like a long time if you're young, which is why TikTok is so popular. It's like a 5-minute video. I can't do that. I can't do it. 60 seconds. So this is my favorite headline from CNN Business. Granddaughters versus gas. Surge in fuel prices force Americans to make tough choices. Trying to, tug on the heartstrings, people. It's like, yeah, you know what? Things are getting kind of tough, which we talked about last week, which is gas prices affect poor people first. People,
right.
You don't have a lot of money. Gas prices, are going to affect you quicker. And so people are going to have to choose. Next one down. Let's jump back over to Ukraine. I know my segues aren't great right now. Which is straight up propaganda from Newsweek magazine. Thank you, Newsweek. Ukraine claims to have killed 5th Russian general since the start of the war.
What?
They've killed 5 generals apparently, and they're saying they're naming them. It's like And as Master Gunner Brian Burton said, it's like, yeah. So generals. They don't put them. It's not like the old days. They don't put themselves anywhere near this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, unless you know where they are and you cruise missile it,
right?
And even then, it's no guarantee. Plus, after you hit the first 2, the others will be ducking for cover. No one, 5. So Ukraine's saying a lot of stuff. So take this one with a grain of salt. We'll move on. So Ukraine's saying that basically they're doing everything but saying that we're winning, which is why I love the headlines where like American headlines are saying Russians are failing. They're not saying they're losing, they're failing. What's the difference there? Whatever. Moving on. Next one down. On the same vein, because we haven't heard from them yet, it's going to happen. You wait. Mark my words. This is from Russia Today. again, you're not going to see this in American media. China warns of unimaginable consequences if nukes are used. if Russia's backed into a corner. So remember, this is Russia. This is Russia's media saying this. It's they're not saying it. They're saying that China is saying it. But yeah, it's only so far you can take Russia before they're like, yeah, you know what? Screw this. Take the gloves off. We're gonna go all Ivan Drago on you. Moving on. Next one down. And this gets about as nuts as it gets. So this is American propaganda. This is from USA Today. Lawmakers reject Russians' official request to return Alaska. Never, ever, ever. Okay. Why are they running this story? I don't know why they're running this story, to be honest, because most Americans do not even know where Alaska came from. If you remember, it's part of a bigger conspiracy that I've talked about on previous shows. Alaska, right after the Civil War, our Civil War was over, blue and gray, brother versus brother. That whole thing ended for some unknown reason. They asked us to buy Alaska from them. For, at the time, it was $7.2 million, which in adjusted dollars, I think it's about $300 million today, which is cheap, actually. But considering back then in the 1860s, it was just this worthless piece of ice. And it's like, what? Oil? And we've made billions off of that. And so they regret that. But the real reason there, and again, you can look this up, it's a big conspiracy, you can look it up online, is that Russia, our American Civil War, which was about money and territory, it was Britain's last chance to step in and claim America. It was supposed to be, they were going to hang the South out to dry anyway, but it was supposed to be the North and the South and the British Navy, and the North and South were going to beat each other to a pulp, and then the British Navy was just going to roll in and say, hey, we'll be a temporary government for you while you're restructuring, and they were going to take it. And the North knew this, and they asked Russia to step in, and so Russia said that the whole request was keep England out of the war. That was it, and they did. And so for doing nothing except writing a letter to Britain, that's all they did. They made $300 million in adjusted dollars. A pretty nice chunk of change for one letter. So they didn't do too badly in the end. All right, moving on. Next one down is blue. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do not let wealthy people write headlines during times like these. From Fox News, Bloomberg op-ed slammed for saying inflation stings most for those making under $300K a year. Don't buy in bulk, and try lentils instead of meat, and other things like selling any cars you're not driving on a regular basis, and all this other stuff. There was a lot of people, as you can imagine. Karen and I both make way over $300K a year. But there's a lot of people
so
out.
Ridiculous.
I know, but there's a lot of people that don't. I know, like 99% of people, and the huge disconnect there. That whoever Bloomberg should have just not let this thing out. It's a terrible, terrible thing. You're just going to piss people off. I got a few left. That's one of my favorite. Our guy Kyrie Irving. The season's not over, and he's still not allowed to play. And by the way, this is not American media. This is still Russia Today. I'm going to be leaning more on them in the future because I still can. Protests back NBA star over New York vaccine rules. Okay, people like winners. People like winning. And when your star guard, one of the best guards in the NBA, can't play, that's one thing. But when all the mandates are dropped and he gets to sit in the stands without a mask or a shot, and everybody else in the stands doesn't have to wear a mask or have a shot, why isn't he on the court? Well, that's just how it is. They're going to finish out the season, and they're not going to change the rules for the rest of the season. And the fans are just like, what? Come on, he's sitting right there. He's sitting right behind the bench. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Nice.
There isn't. That's how you know it was never about health.
Yep.
Ever.
Yep, it's never about that. Okay, last three stories. First one, which is TikTok algorithm. Okay, I'm going to read the headline and I'm going to translate it for you. This is from The Guardian. TikTok algorithm directs users to fake news about Ukraine war, the study says. Okay. The translation there is that we want TikTok to censor people, to censor people about with our narrative in mind, right? So I got to read a couple of these paragraphs. Ready? So, oh crap. turn that off. Okay. A new TikTok account can be shown falsehoods. Remember how I said they don't like using lies as a word, whatever, about the Ukraine war within minutes of signing up to the app, according to an investigation by an anti-misinformation outlet NewsGuard, the company which monitors trustworthiness of news, blah, blah, blah. And then they said, towards the end of the 45-minute experiment, analyst feeds were almost exclusively populated with both accurate and false content related to the war in Ukraine, with no distinction made between disinformation and reliable sources. At a time when, okay, listen to this, ready? At a time when false narratives about the Russia-Ukraine conflict are proliferating online, none of the videos fed to our analysts by TikTok's algorithm contained any information about the trustworthiness of the source, warnings, fact checks, or additional information that could empower users with reliable information. That's the last paragraph I'll read. Among the false claims shown to the research were the myth that the U.S. has bioweapon laboratories in Ukraine and the accusation that Putin was photoshopped onto footage of a press conference he gave in early March. Videos also claimed that fake footage was real and that real footage was fake. Videos purportedly of the ghost of Kiev shooting down Russian jets were taken from a video game, while real videos from the war were decreed as fake by pro-Russian accounts. Yeah, so
if you have to write an article about it.
Yeah, if you have to basically say TikTok has fake news and we don't want them to put out fake news. Well, that's the problem because TikTok isn't owned by us. TikTok is a whole other animal, and they're doing really, really well because kids nowadays, and I'm saying anyone under the age of 30, have the attention of goldfish, and so TikTok is the weapon of choice right now. So
yeah, it's terrible.
Really, really, yeah, no, I hate TikTok. In fact, I like watching Joey B. Toons rip apart TikTokers because you only have 60 seconds most of the time, right? You know, that's up to 3 minutes sometimes, but 60 seconds most of the time. Mm-hmm. And all they're doing is lip syncing songs. That's all they're doing. It's some of the most, just awful. TikTok is terrible. You can't learn anything on TikTok, that's for sure. Okay, do we have one left? No, two left. Okay, next one down is this from Russia Today, but it's getting traction now in mainstream media because forums are blowing up over it. Biden says U.S. must lead the new world order. He wasn't kidding this. So so now we're not even a question of if there's going to be a new world order. It's that the U.S. must lead it. By the way, I would not bank on that statement. Yeah, we'd like to lead it. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's in the cards of us leading it. But if it does, hey, great. Good for us. I'm here. But yes,
insanity.
Yeah, Biden says that we're just going to break that out. If you don't know what the new world order is by now, well, you haven't been paying attention.
Well, the first George Bush talked about the new world order.
Oh hell, there was a song. I mean, come on, I grew up with
on September 11th, 1991. Yeah. Just saying.
I was in college when Ministry came out with their song "New World Order," and they used sections from that speech. Even back then, people were like, what the hell's he talking about? Okay.
Wait, Ministry?
Ministry.
Yeah, I love that band.
Yeah, they were talk about a weird band where, you know, one album they're playing that poppy Every Day is Halloween.
Yeah.
And the next album, it is freaking rage.
It's like industrial metal.
Yeah, where they're using quotes from one of the darkest movies of the era was like Platoon. And they're like from the Vietnam War, and they're using quotes from that, and it's like, wow, yeah, Ministry. Mm-hmm. All right, last but not least, and this is for you, Karen, and for me, and for everybody else that's making content out there. You ready? Here we go. Last headline of the evening. This is from Engadget. Demonetizing problematic YouTubers isn't effective. Researchers say. I'm going to read part of this. You know what? In fact, it's not long. You know what? I'm just going to read it. We got time. YouTube's existing policies are not enough to discourage creators from posting problematic content. That's one of the findings of a new research from Cornell Tech on how YouTubers make money. YouTube has long used the threat of demonetization to encourage creators to follow its rules. Creators who violate its policies or who veer into so-called borderline content, videos that don't outright break the rules but come close enough that the company stops recommending them, like us, are at risk of losing access to monetization features. But researchers at Cornell and the Swiss Federal Institute, I mean, come on, how many groups are going to take to figure this one out?
Yeah.
That demonetization may not always have the intended effect. That's because it's still exceedingly easy for creators who have been demonetized to direct viewers to other money-making platforms like Patreon.
Yep.
Moreover, they found that YouTubers who traffic in extreme and problematic content are significantly more likely to employ alternative monetization sources than their peers. According to their findings, 61% of fringe channels, wonder who those could be, used an alternative monetization source compared with just 18% of channels overall. At the same time, the researchers found that demonetizing a channel tends to result in creators producing more content, not less. Yeah, you pissed them off. Of course they are.
That's right.
And demonetization may even result in more divisive and extreme content because they're now trying to appeal to committed audiences rather than the general YouTube viewer. Also true. You know, this is one of the only authentic articles I think we've got.
Yeah.
On one hand, weakening the link between exposure and earnings may allow higher quality content to be produced, they write in the paper. On the other, it may encourage creators to embrace divisive rhetoric. Even if videos are demonetized by YouTube, see what I did there, for breaching their policy, it could be that due to alternative monetization strategies, creators will still have substantial financial incentives to create content exposing false, hateful, and divisive narratives. So anyone that does alternative stuff, they're just full of lies. The researchers say that platforms like Patreon, as well as lesser-known sites like Subscribestar, need more scrutiny as they're becoming more popular across YouTube, not just problematic streamers. By the way, you notice that they're not mentioning any of the other real platforms. The last paragraph, the issue of how to handle borderline content and how far YouTube should go to discouraging it isn't a new issue. Last month, YouTube's chief product officer, Neil Mahone, said the company was wrestling with whether to take more aggressive steps to prevent problematic YouTube content from going viral on other platforms. One idea under consideration, he said, would to be break sharing on these videos so they can't spread as easily. Yeah, that's probably.
How are you going to break sharing on a video that's not even on your platform?
Yeah, that's the first thing. And second, if you do have it on your platform and you put a bunch of links in there, how many of these links are you going to break? And are you willing to break those links knowing that whatever other platform may come after you legally? Because not all platforms are created equal. I mean, there's a bunch of them that just go straight at them. It's like, yeah, sorry, fix the link. You can't just start automatically breaking because you'd have to break them all. How are you going to discriminate?
Yeah.
On the links. And what are you going to break? By the way, you're going to break Patreon? You're going to break, PayPal?
A lot of people have Patreon and YouTube channels there, even ones that they don't find problematic.
Yeah.
That's a common thing. They can't just
No,
listen,
they can't.
You don't own the internet. Google and YouTube, eat a bowl of dick. Just go away.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, if YouTube should be worried about anybody, it's TikTok. Because they're taking huge swaths of bandwidth away from YouTube, and
YouTube shares TikTok videos now. You don't use probably.
No, good. No, you're right.
The iPhone app on YouTube, but if you go to YouTube now, they have shorts, and a lot of those are TikTok videos.
Right, you're absolutely right.
And they're just in your face.
I have noticed that. It was weird because it's in the TikTok format, which is always portrait.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why they do it that way? Did they not allow? They just don't. TikTok doesn't allow landscape. It's always portrait.
Yeah.
Because they just decided to pick one because they didn't want to deal with whatever the tech issues were going to be. So.
Right, because they don't want it to rotate. They don't want people to get comfortable and do this. You got to be like.
Oh, plus all the hearts and the smiley faces and everything.
Right.
They have to make it. Yeah, whatever. I'm not a fan. All right. Excuse me. So let me see if there's anything else I missed there. Peanut, I got to see if Peanut has anything. Oh, sorry. I didn't see what Peanut was calling out. What were you calling out there, Peanut? You were saying BS on something. Oh, the generals? Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah, no, there's no way. And yeah, let me end with this one thing, which is at this point, whatever you see on mainstream media when it comes to the Ukraine conflict, because it's not a war, it's completely one-sided. The conflict out there, just assume the exact opposite. So when I go to CNN right now, right this second, and CNN says Russia attacks from the sea, that part might be true, or they've already attacked, but Ukraine makes gains near Kiev. Okay, Kiev's their capital. So what are you trying to get back into your capital? What do you mean you're making gains in Kiev? Yeah, Kiev's pretty much surrounded. So whatever. Anything you see on mainstream, on American mainstream, just assume the exact opposite. All this crap about, oh, Russia's making mistakes, and here's one. A cyber attack on the U.S. could lead to war, but it is very unlikely. What? So why say it? They want this fight so badly. The media wants war so badly.
The media is the one that pushes everything. That's the tool. That's how they push everything. It's how they push the COVID. It's how they push their propaganda for their war. It's how they control the masses, literally, through the media, the lying media who gets paid to say whatever the hell they want them to say.
Yeah, and then they get outraged when some of their guys get picked off in the war zone. It's like,
I used to care about that. Now I don't, because they're liars anyway.
Yeah, reporter dies in Ukraine, which may be possible. It's like, you knew what you were getting into. It's like, what are you doing? Whatever. All right, when we come back, we're going to pick up some phone calls. 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. Operators are standing by. You can ask questions about anything you want. You can talk about whatever. What's happening in your neck of the woods. We can talk about gas prices. I didn't really bring up gas prices because they just keep kind of creeping up. Although when you go to Fox, I thought it was very interesting. And on the right-hand side, that's the top of the chain. You can click on any state. You can hover over any state, and it'll tell you the prices. And then 8 inches down, that's the vax per state stuff. What takes priority? Well, what takes priority. It's what's in your wallet. Back in 3 minutes.
Censorship and regulation is becoming an ever...
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. We are TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World Part 3 of 4. It's you, me, and the uncontestable Karen B. We're going to pick up some phone calls, but before we do, I just, again, found this wonderful headline. I love RT, I really do. Notice the hat that was given to me by Gorbachev himself back in 1986. No, I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Peanut galleries in Ukraine. This is a hat by Gorbachev. Seriously.
I saw this on the side of one of the articles that we're reading earlier, and I was going to say something, but you kept talking, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, it's RT, but you know what? I'm going to throw it in there. Ready? It's from RT. Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah. If you have gotten vaxxed, you're probably anti-Russian. That's it. The headline is vaccinated people are more likely to support harsh anti-Russia measures. And I don't know where this study came from. They're probably not wrong. Overwhelmingly, more than 80% of the vaxxed respondents supported expanding sanctions, seizing assets of Russian nationals associated with President Putin, cutting off shipments of Russian oil, and sending military equipment to Ukraine. Furthermore, 82% of vaxxed people felt that Canada should impose tougher sanctions on Russia, even if it means they would have to suffer higher prices and slower economic growth. That is a bunch of crap. That second one doesn't make any sense. There's too many people out there. I've seen it so many times. People talk a good game. People talk a lot of smack, but when the chips are down and their wallet becomes thin, yeah, they back down pretty damn quick. When gas hits $6 a gallon and somebody says, well, it's because of it, and you come back and say, well, if we laid off of Russia, it'd probably go down. People, yeah, lay off frickin' Russia. I mean, for God's sakes, did you not listen to the show? Do you see what happened with nickel? That's
this
one
is
market.
Hilarious because this just follows their BS narrative, right?
Yeah.
Everybody who is dumb enough to go get injected 3 times in 1 year for the cold is also dumb enough to believe their propaganda against the Ukraine or against Russia.
With the narrative now, remember
they're praying for Ukraine.
Yep. Yeah. You remember that the narrative has to be not the listeners of this show are wonderfully intelligent, enlightened, open-minded people. But the rest of the people out there are mouth-breathing troglodytes, and the narrative has to be very, very simple. Orange man bad, old senator good. In this case, Putin bad, Russia bad, and they haven't had to work this one very hard because come on, we've been doing it in movies forever, going back not even Rocky IV and Rambo and oh crap, what was the one? Peanut, help me out here. Red Dawn, yes, thank you. I forgot about Red Dawn. That and the remake of it. No, going all the way back to Dr. Strangelove, going all the way back. I mean, we have never stopped. If you guys have never watched Dr. Strangelove, I highly recommend it. That'll give you a great thing. I mean, God, even modern action films like Punisher, Warzone, the Punisher before that, it's like no, yeah. Okay, let's pick up some phone calls, shall we? Because I'm just going to start reminiscing and going down my own rabbit hole. Let's go to California. 669, line unmuted. Jimmy, Karen B, what are we talking about?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's up, Karen B, Mark, Peanut Gallery?
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah,
what's up?
With the news, I've been going bass backwards with it for a while, man. It's like you got to assume the opposite. They're pretty much 100% opposite every time.
Yeah.
I mean, with this especially though, I mean, they got people supporting Nazis right now.
Yeah.
I think I even saw like an article on like maybe it was Yahoo where they're like saying, kind of implying like, well, these Nazis are at least getting the Russians or something. They said something about the Nazis being there. They mentioned the Nazis. Yeah. It's like, man, they can't get people that licked. I mean, that's really what's happening right now.
Yeah. Well, people forgot that in 2014, because it was boring to us back then. In 2014, that's when we really we've been shipping weapons and advisors there for 8 years, and only now have the Russians started squaring off. And so the Russians said, "Yeah, pull out your advisors. Let's see what they can do. You've been training them for 8 years. Time to put nut up or shut up." And only now, and so people.
The Russians are saying they're like, we didn't start this war. That's what the Russians are saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
Everybody thinks
America had way more interest in this than they did. There are wonderful news stories going back 8 years, at least 8 years, and we've been thinking about it ever since the whole Cold War thing ended when the Soviet Union fell.
Right.
Again, what I talked about weeks ago, which was when all those countries became free agents, America was the team you wanted to be on, and we were willing to pay through the nose to get it. And Ukraine was the big feather in the cap. So
yeah.
Anyway,
but so Gorbachev didn't really give you that hat, though, right?
I don't know. Did he? No, I am not. I am not a Soviet sleeper agent. Even though I watched Peanut. I watched all the seasons of what was that show? The Americans. Wonderful show about a whole sleeper family. Soviet. Like the Russians have a great intelligence network, and they've been here for a long time. And the reason why I'm wearing the hat, I am a big believer. Not even just Russia, the USSR. They made us better. The protagonist, the hero, is nothing without the villain. Has nothing without the villain. The villain defines the hero. And even though it's like you're saying that the United States is the hero, it's like, well, that's what we paint ourselves out to be. But red, the Soviet Union was always the bad guy. Come on, Rambo doesn't even exist as a movie without those guys, right? And Rocky IV doesn't even happen, and Red Dawn and all the others. So, heck, Dr. Strangelove doesn't happen.
It's so obvious who the bad guys are. I was looking at a map someone was showing on a video of all the countries that America supplies weapons to. And it's like the entire friggin' world except for like China and Russia. I mean, it's insane. It's like, I wonder where the terrorism problem's coming from. Give me a break.
That's a wonderful point, by the way. Do not forget, Americans that are listening to this, where we make a lot of our money, which is we are really good at weapon systems. I'm not talking just small arms like Smith & Wessons or Mossberg or Ruger or Remington or all that stuff, or Colt. I'm talking about the heavy stuff. All sorts of advanced weapon systems. Boeing makes commercial airplanes. Sure, they do. They make those, but they also make weapons. Or the big one. You want to look up some stuff? Look up General Electric. General Electric. Refrigerators and light bulbs. No, they make huge amounts of weapon systems, and we sell them everywhere. So yeah, I mean, we're the good guys, but only because we say we're the good guys.
What are they called? My uncle used to work for FMC. Remember them?
I think so.
Tanks and shit.
Oh yeah.
FMC. I haven't heard about them in a long time, but I remember he used to work for FMC. I don't know what happened to that company.
So, Peanut Gallery says he had an M16 that was made by Hasbro. No joke.
No shit. That's awesome.
That would not. That surprises me and yet amuses me. It's like, what? Yeah, and not just companies like General Dynamics and McDonnell Douglas and Bell Helicopter. We have tons of companies that do that sort of thing. So anyway, the point is that it's all fun and games. It's all team sports. Russia's on one side, we're on the other side. And it's we'll see where this goes, but I right now it feels so scripted. I'm just waiting for China to step in.
The only winning move is not to play.
Yeah, the only winning move is not to play.
I want to shout out. I want to shout out James Corbett's coverage of Putin. He did a recent video that kind of exposes him as being a player in the big Great Reset or whatever.
Really? I'm surprised Corbett went down that road.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I'm like, because he made it sort of a comedy bit too. It's a funny video. I recommend it.
All right, I'll check it out.
I wish I remember what the name of it. I mean, it's the title says it all. You'd be able to find it.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Cool,
man.
Right,
thanks.
Man.
Have a good one. Talk soon. All right.
You too. All right. Cheers.
Yep. Let's go out to. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna have to look at that. Peanut, send me a link. Was it 484? They never pick up, so we're not gonna pick up 484. See, I learn. I'm kind of like AI. 518 out in New York. It's you, me, Karen B. What's happening? Line unmuted. Oh, really? You gonna leave me hanging, man? 518? All right. Let's go out to 646. 646, also in New York. Line unmuted. What's going on?
How do I know which 646 number you're calling or talking to?
Well, you're right. There are 3 646s right now, but I figured I talked to the one that was listed as most whacked out of his mind. It says on my board. So.
What are you guys doing? You guys good?
Yeah, in there. We're fine. It's America. It's never all bad here. Not yet.
And now I
anyway.
love that you have a grenade, or at least Karen has a grenade on her home screen that I'm looking at right now. It's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
old school. That is Soviet Union World War II rifle and grenade. Back in the day.
So what happens when you pull that little ring? When you pull that little ring, like how long do you have? Like, does it? Can you hold it in your hand for a minute and then like?
Well, there's a little thing on the side too. So you hold that down and then you pull the pin, and then it's armed.
Yeah.
And then you got to throw it. And once you throw it and release that little thing, then that's it. Then your time is ticking away.
There's a spring-loaded lever.
3 seconds. Peanut says 3 seconds when you let go.
Yeah. You can pull the pin and you can put the pin back. You can put the pin back in the grenade as long as the spring isn't released. Once the spring's released, then the fuse is lit and you got 3 seconds.
Is there like an instruction booklet on the internet so like we can figure that out in case we actually pull the pin and we want to put it back in? Is there a way to do that? Like,
Yeah.
Just not pulling.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's plenty of videos on grenades, tons. And yeah, Peanut says trial and error is usually the best method for something like this.
I would just not pull the pin unless you really want to use it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worse than a gun, where they say make sure you pull your gun your way to use it. With a grenade, you really gotta. You're all in.
I was listening to Matt over at Quantum of Conscious today, and he's like, he's still pushing for the fact that the moon is made of cheese.
Oh God.
I mean, how are you gonna prove it? Like, how are you gonna prove it? Seriously. How do you know if a cow doesn't just fart a bunch of milk up into the ether and make a ball of cheese up there? I mean, it's possible, right?
Oh my God.
I don't think so.
I will say that is one of the more original statements I have heard this year.
Sounds a little
far-fetched. Didn't come from me, dude. Didn't come from me. Dude. I'm just like,
did you say fart-fetched? Oh, see what I did there? Rim shot.
Anyway, yeah, that's all I had really, guys. I'm just like having a good time tonight, just kind of hanging out. I'm glad I'm not to be talking about the big stupid. We're still kind of talking about it, but the moon is going to be the moon, and there's no way we can prove that it isn't cheese. And if somebody wants to step to me and like talk some shit, I'm happy to like go down that road with them.
Right on. Alex getting reckless. Anyone needs it, I will send you his home address in New York. You can email me.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
He hung up. All right. We're going to go out to New Mexico. 505. Jimmy and Karen B. What is happening out in New Mexico?
Good evening, Strange World. Good evening, host of Strange World, and good evening, co-host of Strange World, and good evening to the folks who are listening to you.
This is the first time you've ever called, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It's not?
Maybe the second time I've ever called.
All right. Well, that's saying something because we've been doing this. We've been doing the show for 7 years, so.
Yeah. Well, I am calling from Nuevo Mexico, the land where we know that the globe is a gaudy, godless object of idolatry. But I just wanted to mention a couple of my favorite headlines of the day. They both come from the Babylon Bee, and they have a common theme. So one of them, sure you guys saw, is instead of traditional warfare, Chinese military will now be trained to shout wrong, incorrect pronouns at American troops. But the headline that got the Babylon Bee Twitter whatever account shut down was naming Rachel Levine as Man of the Year. So their CEO said he will not recant stating the truth.
Yeah.
And I had a comment. Yeah, my comment is on the egg. A Christian brother, friend, he balanced an egg for many, many minutes on his kitchen counter, also in Nuevo Mexico. And he was pretty thrilled about that. I didn't actually get to see it, but he told me, and I believe that he wasn't lying because I don't think he wants to have a place in the lake of fire. I also wanted to do a shout out to a true flat earther. I don't know if you've ever had him on your show in the last 7 years, but it would be wonderful if you would have him on your show. Eddie Alenkar, the author of 16 Emergency Landings Proving Flat Earth. Come on, Mark, can you have him on the show? You have had
Flat Earth, Banjo, Japan, USA, Brazil. I still don't know his channel name. Something like that, though. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I love the fact that he compiled those into a book. We haven't had him on the show.
Unfortunately,
go ahead.
It's an ebook. I've never had an ebook. It's $12.99. But for me, it's made talking to people. I used to be so excited about Flat Earth and then COVID and whatever. But now starting out a conversation, if you can get someone's attention and quickly say, hey, have you ever heard of Eddie Alenkar? And they're like, what? Kind of take them by surprise. And then you just launch into, he's the author of 16 Emergency Landings Proving Flat Earth. Hey, you can't mess around with flights. They're documented. And then you just launch right into July 29th, 2015, a woman who's going to have a baby. If you're on a globe, they should have emergency landed in Hawaii. Oops, how did they end up in Alaska? You tell me. Right. And then you lose their attention or whatever, but hey, you flat smacked them.
It's true. True. And yeah, we don't focus a lot on the emergency flights, but that's a good little angle because it did bug me because nobody can deal with it. The one where they diverted to Alaska instead of going straight to Honolulu just stuns me. It's like Alaska isn't exactly known for hospital care, and Honolulu, tons of hospital care all over the place. And I would have sent him closer, but that's my number one. I've used that in different interviews, so thank you for that.
Yeah, Hong Kong to Los Angeles or Los Angeles to Hong Kong. I can't remember which way they were going, but yeah. So Eddie Alenkar, I love you.
Right on. Anything else?
No, I think that's about it. Praise God in the firmament of His power.
All right. Well, hey, you have a good evening, and we'll talk soon. Try to call more often, all right?
All righty. All right,
okay.
I will. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Night.
Twice in 7 years? Come on.
Wow.
Better than that. I mean, but there are people, as you know, long-time listener, never call in. Like, I mean, I see 404 on here. It's like a root canal trying to get him to talk. All right, let's go out to, we still got time for a couple more. Maybe let's do 720 out in Colorado. Line unmuted.
Line unmuted. Hey, Mark. Hey, Karen. It's Mike. It's a really great show. You guys have some excellent headlines, and I hope it helps people see stuff. But the reason I wanted to call, I need you to help me connect some dots. So the Alzheimer's or whatever is not getting rid of Joe fast enough, and Psaki is not going to Poland, even though she is the mouthpiece for the White House. Is it very possible that there's going to be an errant missile or something, and we don't have to worry about Biden anymore? And
don't tease.
I don't want that to happen. I just wonder.
Oh, neither do I, because I'm bored out of my tree and I'd like something more interesting to happen. But who knows? But then again, if that was the case, wouldn't you want Jen around? Unless, I don't know. We'll see if anybody else isn't going.
Yeah, she's got to be the spokesman for Kamala. Or Kamala.
I mean, yeah, if I was
why she's not going.
If I was her, I'd want to go on this trip. She's the go-to person.
Of course.
The circleback girl. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
plenty of videos on that where she's the freaking queen of circleback.
They made a circleback song that they play on TFR. I don't know if you've heard it.
Right, there is a circleback.
She's
song.
like, we're gonna have to circle back, circle back.
Wicca. Yeah, I don't know. We will see. We will see. The Poland's going to be the Poland trip. I'm kind of on the fence because we don't know how close he's going. We don't know if he's just going to Warsaw, if he's going to be on the border shaking hands with refugees. I doubt that. We'll see.
Probably a green screen anyway. But hey, thanks for entertaining it. I have to give a shout out to Zulu, of course, Mark and Karen. Peanut deserves one because he works very hard. Ice to see you works really hard. Steven is absent because he's got some computer problems, but you got to shout out to good people. So thank you guys very much. Enjoy your evening. I'm going to go back and listen to the rest of the show.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Last one before the break is going to be 360 up on up in Oak Harbor, Washington. What is happening up there?
Hey, Valley Music Unity, Dan here. How you doing? Not much.
Yeah? Yeah?
A lot of fart smellers, smart fellers, and cheese farts on the air, I guess. But I want to go to a higher plane on this thing, so to speak, higher atmosphere. Can we take the conversation a little deeper?
You got 4 minutes. Go.
Well, we're on the 7-year cycle, right? 2015. We're about to jump the shark here with the flat earthers, and you got more to lose than I do because you're a famous flat earther. You and Karen B are two of the most famous in the 7-year circadian cycle of Earth and the horoscope and the skies on the spinning firmament say that it's time for the flat earthers to be gone, and we're going to be the retreads of the hamster wheel of life, if you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know. I mean, from what I can see, flat Earth has been picking up quite a bit since the virus of unknown origin has kind of faded away, and the war is not keeping the attention of anybody. But I'm kind of waiting to see if anything escalates first. But I mean, yeah, we've been getting more interviews and more things. I mean, a lot more meetups and stuff happening. So tough to say what's going to go on with us.
Well, yeah, and you guys predicted the future with the whole pandemic and the end of the world, and because of that, you knew about that because you were flat earthers. Then
Yes,
we know that the next step is to phase us out is to go on to World War III, which means it's time for your final album. You need to put up a top 10 best list of all the Mark's best lines and expressions and links to the shows, and you can get a retread out of all the old shows and ramp yourself up with a 10 times best list like they do on all those platforms. It's your turn.
You know what? Just because you said that, what I'm going to do when we come back from break, before we pick up the last calls, and I'm going to remind people that they can get a free survival guide. Not that I'm saying it's the end of the world. I'm not saying that. Yeah, maybe I am. But I wrote a free survival guide, and I will give everyone the information on how to get that. So when we come back from the break. What else you got, Dan?
That's it. Shout out to the plane people and the no more cheeseheads that smell farts, but everybody else. I love you, Alex. Shout out to all of you. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. See ya. That's
Who's
Dan
Alex?
from Bally. I think he was shouting out Alex Stein.
Oh.
That's Dan from Bally Music Journey up in Oak Harbor, Washington, right up the road. You know, he can see Canada from his bedroom.
Cool.
It's true. I could see Canada like right from the road from here
Because
I used to live
in Mexico.
The what?
I used to be able to see Mexico, and I lived in San Diego.
Nice. San Diego was one of my favorite towns. I always liked San Diego. I went
It
there.
is a cool place. It's totally different from LA. It's cooler than LA.
Yeah.
It's not as douchey, but it's
It was
got its own issues.
years later that I remember the exterior shots. That's supposedly where Three's Company was set, even though it wasn't. You know, with Jack and Chrissy and Jim.
Oh yeah, because the zoo.
Yep, set down at the exterior shots were in San Diego. All right, when we come back from break, we'll pick up some phone calls. 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. And you know what? Phone lines are wide open right now. So if you were ever thinking about calling, you have something to say, or hey, you just want to say hi.
We love to hear from first-time callers.
Yeah, always. Always. And there we go. Oh, hey, look, some Russians are talking. How's that for weird, by the way? I've had this Russian song 7 years. No one's calling me out on it.
You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. TLR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. It's you, me, and Karen B. We are taking phone calls, 213-233-3998. That's 213-233-3998. Let's get right to it. Let's go all the way up to the wonderful, snowy, mystical, unicorn-filled land of Canada. 905. 905, you're on with us.
Hello, Mark, Karen, Peanut. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, it's you.
Hey, Ginger.
Yeah, I know.
They haven't caught you yet for some crime that I'm sure you've committed?
Not yet.
Oh,
But when the social media score comes into play, I'm sure they'll get me.
You guys aren't really implementing that, are you?
Oh, they're trying.
Nah, it never happened.
Yeah, they're trying pretty hard.
Nah, I don't think Canada's actually. They pleasantly surprised me after sitting quietly for as long as they did. The whole trucker thing at least let me know where a lot of them stood.
Yeah. So as of yesterday, our mask mandates were revoked.
Nice, good for you.
At least in Ontario. But
That's good.
my 9-to-5 douchebag company is still making us wear them.
Oh, God.
Can you tell me which company that is?
Social media, blah, blah, blah. It's a big
it's a tech company.
thrift store.
I mean, just be general. Is it a tech company? Is it a supermarket? Is it the gay bar down the street? What is it? The what?
You would save a lot.
Why are you being so vague? Just say it's a big box store. You're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, fucking savers.
Fine. We don't have those down here, so you're fine.
Oh, they're all over.
No, there's savers around.
Are there savers down here?
Yeah, I think there's savers in my state, actually.
Really?
All across Canada, the United States, and Australia. They're not listening. I know they're not listening. Plus, I'm Ginger. That doesn't mean I'm who I am.
That's true.
Anyway,
if any store employees that are listening, please email me and I will ship you Ginger's actual legal name and address.
So yeah, they're still doing it, and it's only for another 2 weeks. Then we'll reassess. Another 2 weeks. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, that won't last. The momentum. Remember, the media doesn't care anymore. They do not care. I mean, I'm seeing here on CNN, nothing. Absolutely, with the exception of Supreme Court stuff, bombings, Ukraine, Russia, and down at the bottom, some variant that they're talking about.
So. Oh, and the funny thing is that my part-time job is a dollar store based out of Montreal, and I thought they would be the biggest douchebags, but no. They're letting people decide what they want. Wear it if you want. Don't wear it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, dollar stores, they've got to find employees, and they're all about the dollars. They do not care.
Yeah, you would think it's the same at the other place, but
yeah, you'd think. Hard to say. Anyway, anything else?
Well, just the nice thing is that I would say 75% of people that come in are not wearing masks.
Nice.
And they replace the "you must wear a mask" sign with "we highly encourage you to still wear a mask."
Yeah. America, they didn't in the United States, they ripped down most of the signs entirely because everybody's scrambling to for the monetary side. They don't even want to risk somebody turning around because it's like, I just don't want to deal. I'll go down the street because with the mandates, people are just, kind of like the Burger King, McDonald's thing in Russia, where as soon as they realized that Burger King was not going to close their doors, McDonald's like, yeah, let's just freaking open. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks, but still, it's frustrating that I've got to still deal with this shit. Pardon my French.
I hear you, man. That's okay.
All right, well,
aren't you part French?
No.
Oh, mon chéri, come with me to the Casbah. Make beautiful music together.
Right.
Yep.
I love you three. Zulu, give me a call or a text or something later, and I'll talk to you guys sometime soon, I hope.
Okay. See you, man.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Later.
Let's jump over to 504. 504, are you on the road right now?
Yes, I am. How's it going?
Pretty good. What's going on?
At some point, I think it's too in-depth maybe for your time constraints, but at some program I'd like to call in and make a couple comments about the Rod Skiba Sungenis debate that maybe take it to a deeper level, some aspects of it, including the Catholic Protestant thing. But I got three quick things right now.
Okay.
One has to do with Russia. I noticed you were talking about the anti-Russian aspect in a lot of movies, all the media for many decades. And there's a book I just mentioned you might look up. I think Edward Davies is the co-author. It's called The Myth of the Eastern Front, and it's subtitled The Nazi-Soviet War in American Popular Culture. And it talks about, like back in the 50s, how ex-Nazis, German generals wrote their memoirs, and the Americans promoted it, and it goes through the whole movies and video games, all this, the German perspective in the war. And anyway, the other thing, the main thing, and this one's for free, it's on YouTube. It was just before the anti-Russian, anti-communist stuff in the Reagan era came out. Burt Lancaster, who's a left-leaning actor, well-known. I think it's in 1978. This is for free on YouTube. He did a 20-part documentary, and you're not going to watch this in one night. It's 20 episodes of about 50 minutes each on a different aspect of the war, like in each of the various countries, all from the Soviet perspective, written by Soviets. They were all through the whole thing, Bulgaria, Belarus, and also on other aspects like the relations, with Britain and America and the Allies, or the transfer of the industries that Russia had from Eastern Europe to the other side of the Urals. Anyway, it's highly informative, and some parts of it on controversial today. Like, I'll just say that as a teaser, like the one on Poland, it's saying the German Nazis were the ones who did the Caton Forest massacre, and because they were the ones that discovered it, and the Americans just recycled garbage from Goebbels' propaganda, which is what most Americans believe today. Anyway, I wanted to say that. The next thing, and I'll be try to be short about this. I don't know if it's too early to talk about again. Flattoberfest. I messaged Ted Summer during the past couple weeks. There was a set of books that I'd like to I'd like to give away several sets, I don't know, 10 or a dozen sets of them at Flatoberfest. I don't want to put Mrs. Karen on the spot. I didn't know if that would be something that I would be more appropriate if I did on my own, or if it might be something as part of maybe an award ceremony or something. Well-selected books, and if it was an official part of it, of course, you guys might have a say in which ones were selected. But I can't afford one for everybody like Mark Sargent did with his own book. I'm not as as financially well endowed as Mark Sargent, like he did at the Dallas conference. But the point of it's to raise education, the knowledge level generally about traditional flat earthism before, and the history of it before Robath. And two of the books I want to put in the package, you guys already have. The last thing I got, I just wanted to reiterate, I sent you an email. I appreciate your stand about nuclear weapons, how you affirm they are real. And I'm going to cut this. A lot could be said about this, but I agree, like with what Karen said the other week, that atoms are phony, and that's the history of those is parallel to the history of heliocentrism and this modern astronomy, because the church fathers rejected atoms, and they were only revived in modern times by Galileo, and their rise and eventually acceptance in the 19th century is something that paralleled. Oh, the scales are closed. That's good. They paralleled the rise and acceptance of heliocentrism totally. But I just say that one quote to finish that, as far as what's your military expert said the other week, you got a much smaller making a vast explosion. And the Japanese author I mentioned to you, Tsuyoshi Hasegawa, he said that the quantity of explosiveness was what was improved, not the quality of it. And there's a book I'll send you and Karen each by Alexander de Seversky on that from 1950s. I sent it to Bob Nodell, and it was a smash hit with them. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Forgive me for being so loquacious.
That's okay, Dennis. Well, thank you very much. We'll talk soon, okay?
Will do.
Okay, bye-bye. And the series he was talking about, The Unknown War, I was looking up on IMDb. I've actually watched part of this, and it is a fascinating series. If you guys are interested about World War II, it is a 20-part series by Burt Lancaster. He narrated it. It was in 1978 when they made this, and it is exclusively I shouldn't say exclusively, but pretty damn close, of what happened between the Nazis and the Germans, because the 20 plus million, we don't even know exact numbers. It'd be anywhere between 20 and 27 million people died in Russia, all at the hands of the freaking Germans. And you can imagine there's some stories there. And so that's why it's a 20-part series. So 17 hours worth. I actually may sit down and watch part of that again. It's been years since I've seen some of it. So very, very cool. All right. Let's pick up. Who are we going to pick up? Yeah, let's go to 845. We can do them earlier. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. Oh, with Truth Smacks.
New York.
Supreme. Truth Smacks.
Line unmuted.
Line unmuted. What's up?
Not much. Holy shit. How are you guys tonight? Awesome.
Good.
You're lovely.
Good.
He threw me off. I got to ask, what is the definition of loquacious? I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
It means he talks a lot. He talks a lot.
You mean old school like me, long-winded. Got it.
Well, loquacious would be he's speaking in an articulate nature, but he is speaking at length.
Understood.
And or if you're a fantasy guy, he talks like an ant. like freaking Treebeard.
I think he knows how to do circular breathing. I think he can talk for a long time without even taking a breath.
Without even taking a breath? Wow.
Or he's breathing the whole time, so it sounds like he's not taking a
You
breath.
got to remember, Dennis has read a lot of books, and his brain is just spilling out over the edges. So
yeah, no doubt.
He's got a lot,
he needs to make over $300K a year.
Fake,
all them books. Yeah, I'm with you.
Say nukes are fakes.
I'm
what's
pretty
going
sure
on, man?
those videos were fake. I was gonna go get my 10th shot so I don't clot. I'm getting nervous. I don't want to clot.
Hey, make sure before you get in your car you put on your compression socks. That's important.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I asked my neighbors to get rid of their referee whistles. Fucking stupid.
Yeah. And hey, if you're gonna remember, if you're gonna binge watch television, do it responsibly, because you could be putting yourself at risk.
That is true. That is absolutely true. And YouTube is all over. All their shorts are TikToks. Well, not all of them, but a lot of their stuff. And they changed their thing. Now it's only 15 seconds they allow for their little videos. So it's totally fucking with the amount of attention span. Yeah, for the attention span. It used to be 15, 30, or you could go more. You could put up longer videos and put music, whatever, but they changed it. And they've been shortening everything. Yeah, very interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Fear for the future.
Hey, Karen. Just wondering, since you're a witch, Google should eat a cauldron of dicks, right?
Oh, very good.
Sure.
Fuck them.
Cauldron of dicks.
They're bastards.
I like the sound of that.
Boil, bubble, toil, and trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Eye of newt, tongue of bat.
Crazy. How do they have the nerve to come out and be like, oh, well, we're going to control the internet. We're just going to shut down other stuff.
Oh, how do we stop them here? How do we stop them everywhere?
Yeah, no. What that was, that article was basically a waste of money and academics. So there were multiple universities trying to see what happens when you try to crack down on content for YouTube, and they've realized after this study that nothing. In fact, it gets worse. All you're doing is pissing people off. People at that point, like Karen and me, it's like, oh, is that what you're gonna do? Okay. Here's my response. All you're doing is firing people up. You're giving them motivation. You're giving them a reason to really get involved, to commit. So, Zulu.
Hello.
Yeah, it sounded like you were eating your mic for a second.
Oh, you don't hear me? Oh,
I do
sorry.
now. All right.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
I don't know.
Peanut says stop using the bad earbuds, and he put that all in caps, so you know he means it.
Oh, it's the shitty earbuds again. Fuck.
Yeah, just pick up. They're everywhere, dude. You get earbuds with a bowl of soup nowadays.
How's this? Is this better?
That's fine. Anyway, what else going on?
Not much. Just stupidness. Everywhere. They're still wearing masks. They're still doing bullshit. I'm totally on board with you about that they're still doing shit behind the scenes. They're enacting legislation. They're trying to do things while people are like, oh, Ukraine, Russia.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And the war shit, this is fake, that's fake. Obviously, if they're telling you that that's fake, that's the real shit, okay? And really look at the stuff that they're saying is real, because not for nothing, but some of that stuff looks fake. It's just ridiculous, just utterly ridiculous. Oh, and I don't know. I have to ask Master Gunner, but isn't the piece on the grenade called the spoon? That thing that once you let it go, it ignites the grenade.
Yes, he says yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard that was funny. Yeah. Grenade talk is good. I like that.
Grenade talk.
Freaking nuts. Yeah. It's so stupid.
We'll see. Hopefully I
That's all
don't get in
people are
trouble for the thumbnail, because they don't allow you to do. It should be fine. I'm not worried.
Well, YouTube has weird rules. Like,
well,
you
for the
can't
last 2 weeks, I'm on YouTube. I've made it. I put it out there. Been careful about the virus of unknown origin, and everything's fine. So we'll see.
No grief whatsoever.
No, not yet.
Nothing. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm climbing. I'm clawing my way up to my 100K. Clawing.
You're almost there.
It has taken so long, even with the agency going against me.
We should stream Strange World from your channel one day. I bet you that'll get you there.
Stream it from where?
Yeah,
from your channel.
One of these days I may have to. Maybe when I get really, really close. Yeah, we'll do that. But if you guys have not subbed to my channel, please do give me a mercy killing so I can get to 100, because it's not even monetized. They demonetized me. It hasn't been monetized for a year at least.
You are super close. Where are you at now?
98.5. Yeah. Now we're at that close part. 98.5, because when you get 100, you get that stupid plaque, which is somewhat ironic because once I get it, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, yeah, great. They don't pay me for doing it.
Right.
So in fact,
thanks for the plaque.
Yeah, thanks for the plaque and all the money Flat Earth has made you in the last 7 years. Thanks, guys.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no doubt. Oh man. Between just the two of you alone, the content you've generated, the amount of videos and people, forget about it.
Oh hell, dude! If you type in, if you go to YouTube and you type in Flat Earth and you sort by view count, it's amazing. 39 million, 32 million, 25 million, 22, 21, 60, millions and millions and millions and millions of hits. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Some people have done pretty well.
Yeah, the amount. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And you're right about the platforms with Patreon and stuff. Of course, they're not going to even discuss the ones that they're tied to.
No. Yeah, because you don't want to give people ideas. It's like lots of people are moving to BitChute and Brighteon and Rockfin and Rumble. Nope, not going to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because YouTube probably financed the study. Probably paid these universities, gave them a grant to do it. That way they could get the academics. Like, we need some scientists to look at this. And the scientist at the end says, yeah, it's not going to help.
What do they think was going to happen? I mean, what did they think people were going to do? Oh, YouTube turned me down. I guess I'll just go away and shut up and be pathetic. No.
And
of course we're just going to keep going. Screw YouTube. You know what? Even now, if I could stream back to YouTube, I don't even want to, because all they do is exploit us. They steal money from the creators. Even if they pay you, YouTube is making many, many more time. Many more times than they ever give creators, even the ones who do actually get paid, fair, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Even they're getting ripped off. And so we get it even worse. They tell us constantly that our videos can't even be used for monetization because of the content. So even if you don't get demonetized, they won't monetize your video because they don't like what you say in it.
Yeah.
So what do they think is going to happen? Of course, we're going to go somewhere else and screw them. Screw them.
And the study didn't. By the time the study came out, they already knew this because people weren't shy about making videos saying once they were demonetized. People, you've watched many of them where people go on. It's like, yeah, just so you guys know, you can find me on blah 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 blah. And the rule now, the default rule is strike while the iron is hot and create your own exclusive content on a gate system of your choosing, and that's what they did. So yeah.
Right. Definitely. And yeah, I mean, there's so many. I was amazed at the amount of different platforms. I really had no clue that there are so many social platforms. Yeah. It's ludicrous. It really is. I was like, what? I mean, I get it. I'm a boomer. Shit. I'm a MySpace dude. Okay, that's how fucking old I am. But It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm shocked. Yeah. I really had no idea. You know, maybe
wait, you're not a boomer. Wait, whoa. You're not a boomer.
Almost. No, I missed it. Not quite.
Yeah,
not
let's
quite.
say you're Gen X. But
I'm
Patricia,
X.
by the way, Patricia is a young boomer. But no, you're Gen X.
Gotcha. No, I'm still X.
Gen X rules.
That's right. We are the best. X.
We are.
That's right.
That's right.
All right. Do shout outs. What do you got?
Shout out Mark Sargent, Karen B, Brian Burton, everybody out there in the chats, myself. I don't know. I have a quote.
Yeah.
No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. Sorry, I'm trying to read that and look at my phone.
That's good. And since we have a few extra seconds, I've got a quote as well, which I'm modifying from a quote I heard earlier in the week on something, and that is, common sense, it's not that common. All right. With that, we're gonna wrap.
Oh shit.
We're gonna put a bow on this. We'll be here next week, same flat time, same flat channel. Thanks to everybody listening. With that, say goodnight, Karen.
Good night, Karen.
Say goodnight, Zulu.
Good night, Zulu.
And that's basically it. Hot sex.
Hot sex.
Shout out to Mr.
See, I waited.
What?
I waited. Cold sex.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Hot sex.